Hello ladies and gentlemen, this is Overmind and welcome back to another StarCraft 2 replay cast. Today I have a PvT on Merry-Go-Round, which is a wonky map that I'll talk about in a second. But first let me introduce our players, both of whom are having fun and being nice to each other. Spawning on the bottom side of the map, in red we have our Terran player, szulu. He's gonna be Zulu. I'm not gonna pronounce the S. That's how it's gonna play out. Zulu. In any case, he's our red Terran player. He has a Pokeball clan symbol for PDG, and he's gonna try and catch them all. So we wish him luck in spawning at the 3 o'clock position on Merry-Go-Round, having just built his first pylon. Our blue Protoss player, SteveBrown, who's gonna make probes. Steve doesn't scout as early as most Protoss players do, and he totally should, because he doesn't know where his opponent is on the map, and he wants to be able to avoid all of that annoying cheese. But I bet at least part of the reason is because he likes making zealots so much. He probably wants to have as many probes mining minerals as he can, because every time he sees them move back and forth between the mineral patches and his nexus, he thinks, "Mwahaha, soon I shall have so many zealots." He's gonna go ahead and get gas so that he can get warp gate and maybe something other than zealots. We shall see. But I did promise you guys I would talk about the map, so Merry-Go-Round is sorta silly. The new map that's most like it this season is, I suppose, Catalina, but this is actually a 3-player spawn map. We have sort of the standard main base on the high ground, narrow ramp, wide ramp coming into the natural, and here we have, oh, that's the natural of you. Here we have another spawn position, and here we have the natural of that spawn position. So 3 possible spawn positions. Player's gonna go ahead and scout. Steve's gonna go ahead and just barely miss this scouting SCV. This SCV is gonna get lucky and find Steve right away. Have a cyber core coming on up. And, oh, okay, the SCV, like, came up into this natural and scouted, and then realized that that was not actually what he needs to be scouting. He needs to check the main, which is what he's going to do. So see, I'm not the only one who messes that up and clicks the wrong spot on the map sometimes, you guys. It's not just me. I want to go ahead and note that Steve has some very good space controlling pylons and gateway cybercore combos going on here. He is going to go ahead and make a stalker. Usually want to go stalker first against Terran in case there is an annoying Reaper running around in your base killing all your probes. Ugh, no one wants that. He's gonna go ahead and send it on down here. Make sure that there's nothing silly going on as far as that SCV, although the SCV is headed back to his own base. He's gonna go ahead and take an Expo fairly quickly. Terran players got Reapers. Terran players got Reapers. So those stalkers are going to be put to good use very shortly. We have proxy pylons going down for Steve in both of the potential 3rd expansions that we have here for Zulu. So that's going to be kind of annoying. They'll have to clear those out if they want to expand. The probe does get shot down, but it does see that there are some Reapers on the way. So the Stalker's going to pull on back so that he can defend the probes. We see a chrono boost for a 2nd Stalker happening. We see another gateway being thrown down. And the Reapers have stopped. They're actually going to give Steve a moment to prepare. Alright, that's enough of a moment. They don't want to give him too much time to prepare. They just want to give him a fair chance so that they, so that they don't kill too many probes. We have stalkers right here in the mineral line so that they can just go ahead and fire at will. And this gateway actually keeps them from running around back behind the mineral line too easily. That's going to be good. Natural expansion is finished on up, so we should see him saturating that soonish. He actually has a full 3 proxy pylons. And these ones are pretty good because this one will spot drops going around to this side. This one will spot stuff leaving the main base this way, but he might actually consider putting one over here instead of over here. just to make sure that he sees everything possible. We do have those Reapers running in again, being annoying, killing a probe that was mining gas. I think they're all gonna die. And all the Reapers are dead. Ooh, and I love that. Oh my god, that is the most gruesome death animation ever. Ugh. Alright. Alright, so we've seen a Reaper die terribly. And we're gonna see this base start to fill itself out. So, cool. We see him splitting some workers up, sending them down below. Gonna go ahead and build a couple pylons. Over here from our Terran player, we have that expo coming up, but, you know, not quite finished yet. Handful of bio units. Reactor over here. Tech lab here for the combat shield and for the stim, but also for marauders, which are terribly, terribly annoying if you're Protoss. Factory already has an attached tech lab, which I assume will be producing tanks shortly-ish, although a lot of this looks like a bio army to me. It's definitely going to be gimped by the fact that he is so far behind on his expo. This is almost the 9-minute mark. He certainly won't have it done by then, or until slightly after then, rather. Yeah, see, there we go, we have a little bit more time. And definitely want to expand earlier than that, if possible. Unless you're doing a really big all-in push, which this pitiful little army does not look like it is. Oh, it's gonna move on out across the map? No, it's just gonna guard the front. Alright, cool. We have some gateways and forges being placed here. The problem with these is that they're actually incredibly, incredibly easy to snipe, because it doesn't take a whole lot of vision to see them. It's going to be very easy for, say, Terran players to snipe with scans. Also only has one pylon powering each of these, which is dangerous. Be very dangerous. But Steve is a player who likes to live on the edge, and he's going to go ahead and do just that. I don't think any of these proxy pylons are going to be spotted, nor are they going to spot anything as the Terran force moves out across the map. I want to note that he does have a tank with him at the very least, which is going to be annoying, although Protoss players do tend to do better versus tanks than, say, Zerg or Terran do. So we'll see how that works out. Steve's... Oh, both armies... Oh. Alright, Steve's gonna go ahead and move out across the map as his opponent arrives at his base. Oh, is this gonna be a base race? Oh my gosh, is this gonna be a base race, you guys? Oh. And pylon being focused down. That upgrade is so close to done. It's not even fair. Steve actually gonna go ahead and... Nope, change his mind about expanding. Especially since there are a bunch of Marines in his base. He's actually... Is this gonna be a base race? Oh, you guys, is this gonna be a base race? I'm excited. Now, the Terran does have the advantage that he can lift this base, and then only Stalkers can hit it. And in a base race situation, being able to move your buildings around is actually an incredible advantage. See if this probe decides to expand anyway. Steve has a lot of money here, and it would be good for him to have another base up and going. We do have a mothership core here with a photon overcharge, as well as a number of zealots to try and help defend. Probably some stalkers would be good, because the Marines are just going to go ahead and shoot them as they run back and forth. We do have a larger number of zealots to defend. And, well, I mean, let's be honest here. More zealots versus fewer Marines and Marauders. Oh my gosh, you guys, the death animations are so cool. Is going to be able to hold this. Which is not to say that both players didn't take a decent amount of losses here. We see some medevacs being loaded up. I'm gonna try and make something happen. In the army supply, we see that Zulu is actually a bit ahead, but in the worker count, Steve is ahead. So if he makes something happen here, it's gonna be a pretty big deal. If he can't make something happen here, then he's possibly going to lose his entire army, and we'll see which it is. There are two sort of extremes that I've listed there, and there can certainly be a middle ground between these two. This pylon is going to spot this fairly quickly. It's going to be a boost into the main base. Probes! Probes, run! Run, probes, run! Ah, none of the probes are running. couple units were warped in, but oh, okay, now the probes are gonna run. Now we have zealots who actually aren't gonna be able to get a lot of surface area on this. They are gonna chase it off for the most part. Looks like he's gonna go ahead and drop over here and try and take out the assimilators. Steve, watch out for your probes. Make sure you take care of them. They're very important. And there's another load up. It's just gonna run about. Of course, Steve doesn't have anything that can shoot up. And so lots of lifting and loading and moving all around from our Terran player. Looking at the army supply, we can still see that it's pretty heavily in favor of szulu at this point. Worker supply just barely in his favor as well. Lots of probes being queued up by Steve. Definitely wants to chrono boost if he has energy on either of his nexuses, which he does. And here comes more Marines and Marauders. No medevacs yet. Looks like he's gearing up for medevac production. I think he has the one medevac from before. Yes, there it is. That's going to have to support his entire Marine Marauder army, and that's not going to be great for him. We do have a probe going out to put another proxy pylon, which I believe should have seen that. So hopefully Steve is prepared for this. Oh, this research. Finish quickly. Okay, good. Good, it's not like last time. It was almost finished and then got stuck. We have the photon overcharge. We have zealots being warped in over here. We have some zealots over here. We have some stalkers. And I think it's gonna get cleaned up pretty handily. Oh! And the medevac with the only remaining units gets taken out. Looking at the army supply now, still szulu is favored, but we have a much higher worker count for Steve, and as long as he keeps chrono boosting and making probes, he should take the economic advantage. We do have a very small handful of units to guard the front. We have this pylon being remade so that we can get more research going. It looks like we're at 2-2. Yep. There we go. Looks like he's going to go ahead and get 3-3. Steve is actually very, very good about making sure that he gets his upgrades. It's probably something that he's better at than I am, actually. So, good for him. He's going to go ahead and get Blink. Of course, his first thing that he researched was Charge, because, let's face it, he needs to have Charge for all of his Zealots. I think this proxy is going to be spotted. I think. Oh, there we go. Yep. So they should have seen that. I guess they're not going to go ahead and take it out. Oh, no, never mind. I'm lying to you. I'm lying to all of you. They're going to kill that pylon right away. Steve does know that this is here. I wonder if he's going to try and drop and attack at the same time? No. And he doesn't have very many medevacs to spare, so I'm not totally surprised by that. We have the army jockeying for position, getting ready. This tank is going to go ahead and siege up. He's going to be able to hit this pylon with a scan or with some little air support here to give him some vision. And he's going to go down! A little bit of stutter stepping to clean up the zealots. Want to pull the zealots back so that they are near the stalkers so that they can't be picked off quite so easily. Run, zealot, run! Oh! Now we have some DTs. And it doesn't surprise me that Steve likes DTs at all. The nice thing about DTs is if you mix them into a group, people don't always notice that they're there because they're cloaked. And they actually do a decent amount of damage. We see another dead medevac there. Dead marauder. So many good death animations for Terran. So he didn't scan at all there. Maybe just because he didn't think that he could take that, but if our Terran player doesn't realize that those DTs are in there, they're going to have the opportunity to do some pretty massive damage. A single Marine runs down and actually forces the Zealots to use their charge, so this can be helpful for them. Looks like this push is going to continue. DT's doing lots and lots of damage. I kind of want to pause and just see. We have 2 kills on this one, 4 on this one. Is that all of them? Oh, there should be another one somewhere. Alright. Alright, so a decent number of kills for all of our DTs. We're gonna go ahead and watch. Waiting for the scan. Come on, Zulu, scan! Oh, they're doing so much damage here, actually. You should probably get suspicious soon, because this is not a normal amount for zealots. There's clearly some support going on. This poor stalker is being whittled away at by these SCVs, which are being healed. It looks like we do have a pretty successful push into the natural. I think this is going to be game. There's the GG called out. Return GG, and much attacking is happening until finally Zulu leaves the game. So there we have it. Zealots are good. DTs are good. Actually, if we take away the health bars, we can see that this little group here is fairly triumphant. Look at this attacking of this particular supply depot by the zealot. We see the swish of his arm. We see his comrades running to join him. We see an explosion behind them. It's right out of, say, I don't know, guy movies. Some action-y nonsense. Something like that. In any case, I want to go ahead and thank Steve for his continued submitting. If anyone else would like to submit games to have them cast here by me, you can submit them to noobcrafted@gmail.com. For those of you who are too gosu to know how to spell noob, it's Noob followed by crafted, CRAFTED @gmail.com. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Have a good night.